So let's get into today's training, which is going to be on the referral partner Iris Access. And what is Iris to you guys? Well, we recognize the fact that in order for us to grow, we needed to have automation. The automation is going to then allow technology to then allow us to have more efficient employees and efficient processes. You as a referral partner, you're going to find that at certain levels of volume that you need the automation in order to grow your business. In a traditional brick and mortar POS company, those numbers usually around $1 million, $5 million, and $10 million in annual sales. When you get to those levels, you kind of bump the ceiling there, and you have to make changes in order to get over those humps or get over those volume levels. They're the same as with every company. It just depends on what your industry is as to what those levels are. And Aldelo needed to make some changes in our infrastructure in order to continue to grow. So we looked for and found a software called Iris. It is there's only a few companies in this industry that will automate a processor-based company. And in our case, we're processor and POS. So it was a really difficult find and search for us to find something that would work for our company. Iris fit the bill. It's a mixture of processor, lead, and processing and automation, as well as a CRM for us to manage our referral partner network. And that is our main product that we look for. We look through every day. We work this product every day. All of our employees that are contacting you are using Iris, and it is the leading software in this market. And what we've done now is we've given access to you. You've always had this, but we're going to talk about how this is now. We're kind of pushing you in this direction. So Iris to you allows you to enter leads and then track those leads. So you have those customers that you're working with your MSA. Well, this allows you to, you can then put in that lead and work that lead with your MSA team member. Both of you can add notes. Both of you can communicate through the CRM package and then track that lead to its conclusion. So this is a big part of this, and we'll get into how you submit leads through this and how you can track them here in a few minutes. It also tracks the paperwork. We do the apps, and the quotes are done through the Iris system. So when our people are working that lead with you, they're filling in the blanks on the quote that is then going to go into TSYS or to First Data. So the paperwork tracking is key as part of one of the features of Iris. Statement uploads from the processors means that all of our processors that we deal with upload automatically to Iris. This then allows you to look at a lot of different information about the merchant as well as your own residuals. You do have statement access for each of your merchants and referral, and you as a referral partner. So you have the statements that are available. We get a lot of questions about viewing of statements for the merchant. This is your way to log in and see all the information that your merchant's seeing. Same thing that they see, you see, as well as your own statement in regard to your residuals. You can also look at all the deposits and transaction data for your merchant. This is another big area we get a lot of questions about. The transaction data is there, as well as the daily deposits and batches that are done. All that information is accessible to you. And finally, your residual calculation is shown. So to log into the system, you'll be given your username and password by your CSA team member. once you're given that, if you do ever need to reset that password, don't hit the reset or forgot username and password. Just call the CSA team member or email them, and they will either provide you with your username or reset the password for you. But don't use the link there. All you're going to do is get into a loop, and it's just call the CSA guys. They'll take care of you. Once you log in, you're going to get your dashboard. This dashboard then gives you a complete rundown of the status of all of the leads that you have turned in. So once you turn in a lead through the Iris system, it is tracked through each of these steps to the point where it's either approved or declined. And if it's approved, then you can then schedule the install and the training through the system. And at the bottom, you'll notice that this particular referral partner that I've chosen, I didn't choose the biggest and I didn't choose the smallest. I just chose an average referral partner just at random. And you'll see that they have 30 merchants that are currently processing and live. This is further down the page. You'll have the residuals are shown here. Below that, you have the status listed here for the leads. On the left is the date. The DBA is the lead name. I've got that blanked out so that you can't see the names of on this particular report, but that's where the list of names from your merchants would be listed here in your leads. And then you see the status of each one of those. Those are all hyperlinked. So when you are wanting to drill down and look further and deeper into that, you just simply hit the hyperlink. It'll take you right to that lead where you can then look at the status, or in the case of a live merchant, look at their information as well as their deposits and batches and those things. Next up is this is how you submit a lead. You would simply click the new lead at the top of the page. That would then open up this page where you would enter in the basic information. You'll see there the red asterisks. Those are the areas that are required to submit a lead. Once you've submitted this lead, then it goes directly to your MSA, assigned MSA team member, and they begin working that lead with you. They'll begin to quote, they'll complete that information, and when it's done and ready, they'll send that to your lead to be processed for them to sign. This allows you then complete control with your MSA team member as to what's going on. You will then be able to put your own updates in there to let your MSA team member know when you've communicated with the lead. Any updates you'd like to provide them can be done through the system here. So as you log in and work through your leads, you'll see a much better flow of information and communications with your MSA team member. From this page, if you'd like to look at your residuals, just hover over the drop down for residuals and you'll see the drop down says my residuals. Simply click that and you'll be given this page. Now, there's two sections on here, one for each of the processors that we work with. So you would have your merchants listed out by processor. In this case, this is the thesis portion of it. I've already blacked or whited out the names of the merchants, but you'll get to see all the information across there. We'll start with the total sales. That's the total amount of processing that was done by that merchant. Next up is the income from processing. This is what is the income generated based upon your rates that you quoted that merchant. So based upon whatever you've quoted and whatever they've signed up for, that is going to be the income generated by merchant. Then there's the expenses. These expenses are the processing expenses that were generated by the rates of the different cards that were used in that system. So depending on what card the interchange rate, that is what is shown there as the expenses. This is where people are always looking for the gotcha. We've been processing now for about 4 years. And once we started this, the other companies were kind of irritated with us because we weren't jacking up the prices. We didn't add any additional fees. We didn't add any additional markup. So the expenses for us, that's the expenses. We didn't add anything. We didn't hide any profits or any additional fees. For 4 years, people have been looking and trying to find the gotcha. There is not any, there's none. That's why you're not able to find it. We are really, truly trying and succeeding just sheerly on honest business dealings. There's no gotcha. That is the true expenses for processing based upon interchange and the basic fees that are charged by TSYS. That then leads to the net. That is the net profit from processing. We then have the next column is the BPS, or basis points. I look at this as the number is net profit divided by sales. That gives a percentage. In this case, they show it as a basis point. But obviously, the larger the number, the more profitable that particular merchant is. On this case, we're looking at the first one as a 0.43 and then 0.13. That obviously tells you that the first one is more profitable than the second. And then the next one is 7.72 and 0.74. Each of those gives you an idea of who your more profitable merchant is based upon true net profit and sales amounts. Next up is the split. We show here a 50% split. That is the base split that we have for all of our referral partners. That number can go up. We get asked that a lot. That number can go up based upon your volume with us. That is in your Schedule A. So you can look at your Schedule A and see that we do have higher amounts up to a 60% split, and that's based upon your volume with us. If you're loyal with us and send us a good number of referrals and leads and processing, then you get that. You'll get a higher number. Lastly is the referral partner split. That is your 50% of whatever we got from that profit. Further down the page, in this case, we do have further down the page is the first data splits. The same thing, the same columns, no difference there. It's just that these are the first data merchants versus the TSYS merchants, which are a little higher up. Down at the bottom is total profit from all processing. In this case, the number is 2164.03. The ISO gets the rounding up, and they get the extra penny. If you were to click on the hyperlink for one of those merchants, this is what you're going to see for them. This is the merchant analysis. Now, obviously, you can, on the top left, change the date or month that you'd like to look at. So you can look at all different months that they've been processing. You're going to see the total by card type, and a nice graph to the right of that. That graph is showing the bar. The blue bar is the total processing, and the green lines are the transactions. Below that are the daily batches. These are all current, including we have a pending transaction. So if you wanted to see what they are processing today, you can do that. It's within about an hour of being up to date. So there is a little bit of lag time, but you can look at today's batches if you need to. Click on one of those, and you're actually going to get the card breakout, total charges by card. And then below that, you can look at each transaction data. In this case, there were some swiped mostly swiped, and there was a key transaction there. So you can get down to that granular level. The next tab over that might be interesting to you is the chargebacks. In this case, there were none. I didn't go through all different referral partners looking for one that had chargebacks on them, because they're just not that many. But if there were any chargebacks, they would be listed here. And then another big question we get is how to look at merchant statements. This is something we're constantly getting questioned on. This is the statement list of all the statements that this customer has had, or the merchant has had. Pick the month you want to look at, and then here it comes. Now, I'm not going to do a statement analysis. That's not for this particular webinar, but you do have, in this case, this particular statement, I think is 9 pages long. And if you look at the bottom left, you do have the ability to download this. So it's not that you have to look at it on screen. You can download it and print it out if you wish. But it does have the standard information that you're going to have on basically any statement. Here are the batches, the same information that you saw online for that merchant, you're now seeing on the statement. There's the processing amount funded by batch and total amounts at the bottom. Then here's all the fees. And again, I'm not going to do a statement analysis, but quickly you can see that this is a merchant who is paying 15 cents and 25 basis points. Then we do something kind of interesting, and we show the actual interchange rates. And here, you as a referral partner, go look these up. These are published on the internet. You can see where we're not marking this up. We don't mark up interchange. Finally, Iris has a mobile app, works on a smartphone. It does give you the same information that you would get online on your cell phone. So you're able to see your statements and the batches and the deposits. You're able to see and turn in a lead. You're able to update that lead. Those things are, you can check a lead status and then look at batches and deposits. So everything that you have available online, you also have available through the mobile app. The mobile app is called Iris CRM. All right, questions, Jeff? What we have? I haven't been looking at the chat, but I've been seeing it active. What do you got?
Actually, not too much. Somebody was asking if they can do a refund through Iris, and no, Iris is just a transactional location. It is not something that's going to allow you to do refunds. Merchants can't do refunds from there, nor are they going to be getting sensitive data through there. They're not going to be going through and getting credit card numbers or something like that through there. Gary Howard was looking to see what are the expenses and stuff that are in your stuff. This is actually listed in your Schedule A.
Yeah.
If you guys pull your contract, you want to see them, they're in your Schedule A. It tells you exactly what they are. So those are listed there.
Our Schedule A is vastly different from others. It's not even a full page because we don't have all those extra expenses and gotchas. It's very straightforward and it's all laid out for you right there.
Yeah. So, and there's still a couple of people asking, can you do transactions and stuff through Iris? Iris is not a point of sale. Iris is not it is a reporting engine, guys. It is not a point of sale. You cannot do refunds. You're not going to process credit cards through there. That's not how it works. That's not what it does. It will allow you to find transactional information. So if you are looking to see, was a card charged twice, that kind of thing, you can easily search for those. It is in there. You can see, if a card was processed, you can see it in there, it's there. But it's not a transactional engine. It is not a point of sale. So, and then somebody's asking, they notice there's a VIM in Iris with stars and guessing it is for very important merchant. What makes a merchant very important? Well, exactly what you think. It's based on transactional volume. This is automatically set. So if they are processing at a high margin, that will actually become a very important merchant automatically and highlight that for you. And again, Doug, it is not a point of sale. It does not have, it is a reporting engine. There is no virtual terminal here.
Yeah.
It is not going to do refunds. You cannot run transactions in Iris. It is a reporting engine. So, but that's all the questions there, Jerry.
Okay. All right. All right. So what we're looking for from you guys is log into your Iris. You have a login. Every referral partner has the option to have a login. Log into the system. Look at the leads you have in the system. Look at your merchants that are processing. Turn in your leads through this system and then work those leads with your MSA person. There's a lot of features that we didn't get into today that are there for you, such as the ability to schedule task reminders and use the calendar feature that is in the system. We use that internally, and it's a very powerful tool that allows Jeff and I to assign tasks and leads to our team members for them to follow up on. You can do the same thing for yourself. You can use the task and reminders and the appointments that are in the calendar for your own benefit. You'll also notice that when you log in, on the top right beside your name is a number of updates that are pending for you to look at. These updates can be something as simple as a task update, a reminder. It can be a update from your MSA person, but it also can be an error or a message warning you that this merchant has stopped processing, which is vital for us to be on top of. So these different lost the word, notifications. These different notifications will help you stay on top of your active merchants as well as your leads.